well known for his popular coaching. The Victor Davis Awards, the Cliff Barry Follow Your Heart Excellence Project, and the Dr. Yano Tahani Bursary. Congratulations, swimmers and coaches. We would now like to welcome and introduce the Honorable Spencer Chandra Herbert, Minister of Tourism, Arts, Culture, and Sport for the province of British Columbia.
Hello, hello. It's wonderful to be here. I'm so incredibly excited to be here upon the behalf of the people of BC to welcome you here, the territory, the Songhees, the Esquimalt, and Saanich peoples, here in Saanich, an incredible facility for sport. We in BC believe in what you do. You achieve incredible, incredible outcomes. Your focus, your passion, they inspire young people. They inspire all of us. I know my son challenged me. He's 7. He said, "Can you get across this pool 5 times, Papa?" I said, "I'm not sure." He said he didn't believe I could, but I did. And I thought of all of you who have done this more than 5 times, a gazillion times faster than I could, and I'm sure you didn't even break a sweat. So you will do that today, you will do that tonight, you will do that this upcoming week. We couldn't be proud of you. Go achieve your personal best. You will do it. We're proud of you. Special shout out to Team BC, but really all of you make us proud. Go Canada, go. Thank you.
Thank you to the Honorable Spencer Chandra Herbert.
Now introducing our officials for this evening's final session. Présentation des officiels pour la session de finale de ce soir. Referee for women's events. Le juge arbitre pour les épreuves féminines. Anita Sheffel-Wu. Starter for women's events. Juge de départ pour les épreuves féminines. Marilyn King. Referee for men's events. Juge arbitre pour les épreuves masculines. Simon Ruffley. Starter for men's events. Juge au départ pour les épreuves masculines, Susanna Chan.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask everyone to please rise if you are able and join Sabine Black in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Quand on voit se porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
All right, swim fans, let's count it down to the start of our first event here on
you're wondering why that is, the event is not available. So she's come in here and she's ready to compete.
And she's also the Canadian record holder in the S5 category, 54.22, not that far off this morning. So lots of great swimming out of these women. Here in the preliminaries, the 50-meter butterfly as our final gets ready to go. And we're off. And so 34.23, Danielle Doris, the world's record holder in this event. Her time, 32.99. So a real solid swim out of her this morning. She's off to a pretty good start in the middle of the pool.
I got a chance to chat with her last month, and she was telling me about the importance of racing opportunities. They're few and far between sometimes when it comes to the para program. So she said anytime she gets a chance to race, she takes full advantage of it, is really working with her coaches on what she wants to adjust with her race. She knows this race is one that she's really strong at, but you got to be looking for ways to get better. And a solid
right
swim.
Where she was this morning at 34.25, so a really good time. This time of the season for Doris. First to the wall, and then we got 43.47 for Soliman in lane number 5. Again, right where she was within 6/100ths of this morning's time. So a good swim by her, and a 53.00. That looks like it could be a new Canadian record. And Jordan Tucker in the S5 category.
That is.
And my apologies, it was Ella Tucker, not Jordan Tucker, who was the Canadian record holder before. And another Tucker as Jordan goes time 53.000, so an unofficial Canadian record.
And they're just confirming that new Canadian record for Jordan Tucker, the second so far here. She broke the Canadian record in the 200 freestyle S4 last night. So really, really sharp form there for Jordan Tucker, having a really great meet here in Victoria.
So a pretty good start to our evening session with the Canadian record by Jordan Tucker in the 50-meter butterfly in the S5 category.
We're going to grab a word down
Good
here
start
with
to the night.
winner of the
Ready
50
for our next
butterfly
event.
tonight in the multi-class final.
Sorry, it's an
Danielle
interview.
Doris touching first, scoring 1,014 points. Now, Danielle, this has been your event on the international stage. Paralympic champion in 2021 in Tokyo, Paralympic champion in Paris in 2024, double world champion in between those years. What is it about the 50 fly that you like so much?
I like the fact that it's a sprint and it's just have to go one length of the pool. It's just a little fun swim. Just fall in and have a grid race. It's just a lot of fun, and I like fly because it's like I'm a strong kicker, so that's all I really do. So it's a lot of fun.
So the 50 fly, obviously your event. You came in a little bit slower tonight, but what are you going to work on between now and the World Paris Swimming Championships in Singapore to make sure that you're back on top of that podium?
It's definitely the second half of the race. Like I could tell tonight that like it slowed down a little too much, and just gonna work on driving it more forward, and hopefully in Singapore this summer maybe go best time, which would equal a world record, but we'll see. So that's the plan.
Well, best of luck this summer. Danielle Doris, ladies and gentlemen, your champion tonight in the 50 fly.
Did she just tease that she wants to get under that world record this summer? I love it. Well, that was my finishing thought right at the end of her race. I think she's always motivated by when you are the best in the world at your craft, you still have to find new ways to improve. And with that, we'll get set for the men's event here in the Para 50 multi-class butterfly.
Just waiting for the men, and here they come into the pool deck for the 50-meter butterfly and a para.
There are 3 entrants in the men's event. Sebastian Masabi, we've said that name a few times already this week. He was the Paralympic champion in the S450 freestyle this past summer, also holds the world record in that event, but he's recently been reclassified, so now you'll see him representing the S5 category. He went a Canadian record time this morning of 36.59, so we're going to have to watch the clock. I saw him warming up on deck earlier. He looked like he was in the zone, but also a special shout out there to Roy Pan, the hometown favorite, represents UVic Pacific Coast, and the crowd went crazy when he started his walkout, so he'll have lane number 5. Tyson Jacob rounds out the field in lane number 3. Here we are with the men's event.
Oh, great start by Pan in lane number 5. Off very quick. He was 39.41 this morning. And as mentioned by Brittany, Sebastian Musabi, a Canadian record down to 36.59 in his new S5 category. He's in the middle of the pool, and to his right, Tyson Jacob. He swam 40.42. And looking strong, Musabi in lane number 4.
You can see he ducks his head down. He does not breathe very often. He is dialed in here trying to get under that Canadian record pace.
And he's going to be very close. Look at this, 36.59 is the time, 35.84, a brand new Canadian record again. We have 2 in a row, first 2 races. That is an auspicious start, Brittany.
I mean, we're 2 for 2 so far. Jason, this sets us up really nicely. Unbelievable performance there. I said to the Swimming Canada staff earlier, you know, when you do get reclassified, there's a bit of a challenge of, okay, it's a hurdle to get over. You're now racing new competitors. But Sebastian has taken this with stride. He is already proving that he is willing to compete in this new one. He's got, you know, the world kind of watching him right now. His pair of points in that event, 8:42. So he's getting up there. He's going to have to continue to inch. But that's a really, really encouraging performance there from Musabi.
Well done, new Canadian record, 2 on the day for Sebastian Musabi for the Pacific Seawolves. In just a few moments, we'll have medal presentations for our para swims.
I think first we'll hear from Sebastian, talk to Chris, hear what he has to say, how he feels about that Canadian record performance.
Looks like we're ready to go to the pool deck with Chris Highmark Watson.
The target coming in was to get that record.
Oh yeah, definitely was really my target. I mean, I have done a 34 in a fly before.
So really excited about that time. What is it going to mean to you to be able to swim the 50 butterfly potentially internationally for the first time this summer?
Really great. I didn't get to do it in Paris, so I'm really glad I get to do it in some event in like Singapore.
So and now between now and when you go to the World Para Swimming Championships, what are you going to work on to improve this 50 fly to get down a little bit faster?
I'm not quite sure. Probably just like focus on looking down and making sure that I get kick fast for the dive.
You and your coach are going to have some fun working on that. Congratulations, Sebastian Musabi, ladies and gentlemen. Your champion here tonight in the 50 butterfly.
We should have our medals coming very shortly for both the women and the men. Results on the board.
It is going to be one of those nights in the program that is going to feel like it goes by a lot faster after we had the distance events last night between the para 400s. We had the women's 800 and then the men's 1500. It was a lengthy one, but tonight it is really one of those like blink and you'll miss it. We've got some sprint events coming up in the 50 free. We already saw the para 50 fly. We're seeing the para 100 free as well, which is another really fast one. And then the 100 breast finishing with our longest event, which is 200 IM. But I think as a fan, that's one of the most exciting things to watch because the lead changes every single lap. It's dynamic, it's powerful, it's a sprint combined with a little endurance, and yeah, Jason, I'm pretty pumped up.
And those swimmers in the IM events have been on point so far in the first 2 days, so we are expecting some pretty good results.
And coming out now for the podium, Jordan Tucker celebrating a new Canadian record here. Final time.
So that 56.90 was her prelims
I was
time.
going to say,
She
qualifying
did go
time,
faster,
yeah.
That's right. She did go under the Canadian record in the final.
I know yesterday in her post-race interview, that was one of my favorite parts. She said, I worked so hard for this, and I'm just so proud. So to see her smiling on the podium again brings so much joy.
Soliman is the silver medalist. Now that was her time tonight, that 43.47. Danielle Doris off to a good start with her winning time there, 34.23.
Yeah, multi-time Paralympic champ in this event, Dani Doris, the pride of New Brunswick. Here getting over 1,000 para points, a little bit faster than her preliminary swim. But as she said, she's working on a few things with her coach. She said she wants to work on that. The last half, she really found she was not slowing down isn't the right word, but definitely tightening up a little bit. So it's always good when an athlete is on the top of the podium and knows what they need to do to improve.
Yeah, and that was her feedback almost immediately after the races. Oh, I could tell it was that back end was giving me trouble and knows what she has to work on getting ready for the summer event in Singapore.
Yeah, and that's really showing a maturity of an athlete, right? Like she didn't even need to go to her coach to know that. She is in the moment figuring out what she wants to adjust, what she thinks that she can maybe make some changes on before we hit the Para World Championships. Those are happening in September. So although we're already into June and the World Championships are only about 6 weeks away, the Para Worlds have another month on that. So they still have a little bit of time when it comes to a decent block of training and then a nice, hopefully for their sake, a nice taper down.
Yeah, it's almost a full training block or cycle of standard, 13, 14, 15 weeks. So they've got plenty of time to work on all of those little things that they're finding out here, like the back end for Doris and that 50 butterfly. Your medalists now in the men's 50 butterfly. And there we've got local swimmer from UVic Pacific Coast, Roy Pan, the bronze medalist.
And a lot of the UVic Pacific Coast swimmers are our block wipers here that are helping with the bins and everything. So I saw them just radiating with pride when he walked out, and it's always really great to see. So the hometown crowd is getting behind the local athlete.
We'll go with Tyson Jacob. Both he and Masabi coming up. They swim in the S5 category.
Masabi had a good point, after his race of, even though this is a new classification for him, he's familiar with the 50 fly, so he knows kind of where he can be and what he's capable of going, which I thought that was interesting. Of course, that makes sense, but I hadn't really thought of it that way. His times from the S4 category, he's continuing to chase. It's just now in a new category.
Yep.
And he knows, he said, I can go a 34, so he's working on what he needs to do to get down there, but seems pretty content with this performance. Dialed in already, setting Canadian records, making a statement now in the S5 category.
A great start to his adventure in the S5 category. There we go, Sebastian Masabi, 35.84, the second Canadian record in that event here at day 3. And now
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, sweetie. I was just thinking about you.
Well, guess who I just ran into?
Who?
Ryan Reyes.
I remember that boy. You were real sweet on him.
Grandma, no one says that anymore.
Well, what would you say?
I don't know, I'm low-key obsessed.
Like he's a hunk?
More like a snack.
Like you're hungry?
More like thirsty.
Sounds like he's the bee's knees.
I love these calls. I literally never know what you're gonna say.
This is the 50-meter freestyle. Here we go with our 8 finalists.
Swimming lane 8 from Club de Natation Bleu et Or, Brooklyn Toothright. Lane 7 from Manchester Club, Mia West. Lane 6, representing the Toronto Swim Club, Leah Tigers.
Lane 5, Kelowna Aquajets, Taylor Rook.
Lane 4 for the Toronto Swim Club, Penny Alexia.
Dans le couloir droit du club de natation Région de Québec, Sarah Fournier.
Lane 2 from Calgary Swimming, Cameron Channing.
Lane 1 from Togo Swim Club, Delia Lloyd.
Well, there you have it, your finalists in the women's 50 freestyle. Now, this to me is a bit of a new sprint chapter for the veterans in lane 4 and 5, Alexiak and Ruck. They both have mentioned recently working more on their speed and feeling fast in the water. Alexiak was riding really nicely this morning right off her PB. They're eyeing that Aqua A cut of a 24.86. Taylor is the Canadian record holder in this event, but that time came back from 2018. We've seen her so far in good form here. We'll see if they're able to get close to that standard. Also in lane number 3, Sarah Fournier, who's trying to make her way onto the senior national team.
And good starts in the middle of the pool. It is the top qualifier. Penny Alexiak, 25.11, just 5/100ths of a second over her lifetime best. But as Brittany said, Ruck has got all of that speed at 24.2. Let's see how they go. And Ruck now has taken over the lead from Alexiak in lane number 5. Alexiak this morning, 25.11. Ruck, 25.26. They're neck and neck to the wall. And look at this, Penny Alexiak, a lifetime best time, 24.89. A great swim by her. She's underneath the secondary standard. And 24.96 by Ruck. She's in for second in lane number 5. And third is Fournier, 25.17. A great finish. Ruck getting her hand on the wall just behind Penny Alexiak.
You can't write it any different. I mean, those two combined have 11 Olympic medals between them. And we're just hearing here in the stands that Penny Alexiak, because she was the winner of that event, although not under the Aqua A standard, she was under the secondary selection, which makes her very likely to be going to World Championships this summer to represent Canada. I don't know about you, Jason, but that also fires me up for the 100 freestyle tomorrow to see those two going both under 25 seconds. I can't remember the last time I saw two Canadian women under 25.
No,
so
it's been absolutely forever.
Yeah.
And it's really encouraging to see Alexiak with that kind of speed, because the 50 has never really been one of her events.
focus. We both got to know Alexiak and Ruck more in the 100, 200 range. So to watch them sprint, of course, Ruck being the national record holder, she's familiar with the 50, but I think this is a really new wave and an exciting wave of these women in the mature stage they are in their career. But we'll hear if Penny's happy with that. She's down right now with Chris Highmark-Watson.
And the first time for you under 25 seconds. Got to be happy with that performance.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I've never really been a 50 freestyler, so I'm happy to be in the mix a little bit there.
So 24.89, just off the FINA A standard, but definitely it was under the Swimming Canada secondary selection. So you're on the team for Singapore. That's out of the way. What else are we going to see you compete in this week?
100 free tomorrow. That was kind of a warm-up, so hopefully that'll help that.
How is it being back in Victoria racing here at Saanich Commonwealth Place?
Pretty crazy. Pretty good memories from last time. It's definitely way more packed, but it's nice to be here.
So between now and Singapore at 24.89, your first time under 25, again, that milestone crushed. What's next in the 50 free for you?
Hopefully racing in at Worlds and being faster.
Penny Alexiak, ladies and gentlemen, your champion tonight in the 50 free.
Lane number 5, the Kelowna Aquajets, just 15 years of age. She is up and challenging for the lead in lane number 5 as they come to the finish. Is Che and Ishwaragi. At the touch, look at this, Ishwaragi, 25.85. That is a great drop from the Youngster University Calgary Swim Club. Kelly Che, 25.86 underneath the standard, and at 25.99 at lane number 3, Molly Barber. Great swims, 3 of these young ladies underneath that standard for the World Junior Championships.
And Gigovich was really close as well, so that is a really telling future event for Team Canada. I always love to watch these juniors go up and do their thing, but as you mentioned, the time from Leah Tigert is kind of that first in the consideration, but to have 3 in the junior final under 26, really, really great to see.
Awesome, great swims out of our juniors in the 50-meter freestyle as we get ready for our final 50 for the women. This is our B final coming up.
If you're joining us for the first time tonight, the B finalists are what we call the best of the rest. So if they didn't qualify for the A final or they weren't in the junior age category, the following top 8 will compete here in the B finals. Also important to note, if you are an international athlete here swimming, you're able to compete in the B final. A lot of athletes are coming to try to hit standards when it comes to qualifying for Worlds for their own countries. So you don't see that necessarily here. Oh, we will actually see that here. Lane 4, Sylvia Stakovich. I should know how to say this name because it's an e-swimmer, but over time,
I believe it's Stakvicius. And
Stakvicius.
I could be off on that.
No, that's right.
It is.
Sylvia Stavicius.
Yep.
I still feel like I messed that up. Here we are with the B final of the women's 50 freestyle.
But you're right, the E-swim swimmer in the lane number 4, Sylvia Stakvicius. She was 25.98 this morning, relegated to the B final only because she is a foreign citizen, but out strong in lane number 3. Look at that, Ainsley McMurray from St. Luke, 26.26 this morning. It looks like she's got the lead over Stakvicius, and there as well in lane number 5, Leilani Falk from Olympian Swimming, 3, 4, and 5 to the wall together. And look at this, it is lane 3, Ainsley McMurray, 25.73, a great drop from this to win the B final.
It was a close one too. 4 100ths of a second separating those two.
Very
Sylvia
close.
would take the second place finish.
So it'd be interesting to see if Stakvicius is a junior age eligible swimmer for the World Juniors. She's listed, I believe she's a Lithuanian citizen.
Yes, she is.
And she is 18, but it is a year of birth event, not necessarily by age.
We'll figure it out, and by tomorrow we'll have an update for you guys. And we are getting set for the medal ceremonies of the women's 50 freestyle. We'll start with the senior category, and then we go over to the junior. Sometimes we see dabbles where people do both.
And we have been fortunate to see plenty of that, haven't we? With the
And there's a running Penny Alexiak.
oh, trying to get
It's
over
a
from
slippery
girls.
pool deck, Penny. Be careful. I do not need you to get injured right now.
And it is great seeing these juniors on the open final.
Did anybody yesterday enjoy my Summer McIntosh watch? Because right now she's getting in for a warm-up.
Now,
I need to update everybody
yeah,
now.
we got to clock this again,
Okay,
right? It's
we
almost
can
6
tell you
o'clock.
guys. Remember the question was how long before your race should you get in for warm-up? So I'm just going for market research here. Let's make a note of the exact time. It's 5:56.
local
Okay,
time,
great.
Pacific time.
We'll get back to you guys. Dialed in. Summer McIntosh in for warm-up.
Here's Sarah Fournier with her bronze medal swim at 25.17.
Your silver medalist,
Was a lifetime best by Fournier by 5 100ths of a second. So a good performance out of her. Taylor Ruck, 24.96, dipping under 25.
Yeah, really great swim there for Ruck. Her freestyle right now, I think, is looking better than I've seen in a couple of years. So I'm really encouraged. Things are working well for her down at Arizona State University. She's training in their pro group. Seems happy.
And Alexiak, she's got to be encouraged by this. Big lifetime best for her. And a 50-meter freestyle, 24.89, but it's just unfortunately 3/100ths of a second over that World Aquatics qualifying standard.
Well, like she said, this is a bit of a warm-up event for her for the 100 tomorrow, so very confident that she'll get on the team in that event and then maybe can swim this as another fun addition. But yeah, talk about that podium and the experience of that podium between Ruck and Alexiak. They have seen 11 Olympic medals. Those are two that have been on the national team for a decade. And we'll throw to commercial. We're not throwing a commercial. We're going to get to watch our junior medalists. And with that, Leah Tiger will kind of be our headline athlete for the future of what we're going to keep an eye on when it comes to this women's 50 freestyle in the country.
And so great swimming out of these young ladies. I think the count was at least, I think we had 4 or at least maybe even 5 of them underneath that junior standard. It was really good, a youngster. It's actually Kelly Che. She corrected me on her pronunciation earlier today at warm-up. It was great. I was talking to her coach, Mark Tremblay, pulled me aside and introduced to this young lady, and proper pronunciation is Kelly Che.
And we say thank you to anyone. I have an update later on in the program where I'm going to tell you a fun story of another name pronunciation I got later, but until we hear it as a correction, we don't know any better. So thank you so much to everyone that's correcting us, and apologies in advance when we do get it wrong.
There's the University of Calgary Swim Club's Renumi Ishwargi, 15 years of age, dipping under that 26 mark. A great swim for her for that silver medal. Underneath the World Junior qualifying standard. And a great swim for her in the A final with the open women.
Yeah, and that race experience is invaluable, right, as she grows within her career and continues to build as an athlete to be able to compete against the best of the best. Very impressive there. Big smiles. And we get set for the fastest race in the pool on the men's program, the Splash and Dash, the 50 freestyle. Now in lane 4, that was a bit of a surprise this morning. Ruslan Gaziev, who's a Tokyo 2020 Olympian, he was suspended for a whereabouts failure. He is finally back, and he made a statement this morning with his return to the pool, popped a lifetime best to take lane 4 in this final. Ilya Haroun was off the block so well, and he's proved that his power is there. His yard season is in any indication. His freestyle speed is definitely on. He'll have lane number 5 and Canadian record holder and 4th place finisher from the Paris Olympic Games, Josh Leando, he'll have lane number 3. And I can never count out Kissel the Missile. He'll be out in lane number 6. He's been under the cut before. That cut stands at a 22.05. Will we see anyone get under it? We're about to find out.
Here we go. We're expecting a much faster race out of these men than we had this morning, although Gatsiev was underneath that B qualifying standard. Look at Liendo go in 3. Haroun in lane number 5. It is the 100-meter butterfly all over again. Gatsiev not giving up in the middle of the pool in lane number 4. He is in touch with our 2 leaders, and it is Liendo, 21.88. What a swim. And Haroun, 1/100th of a second over that qualifying standard at 22.06.
Oh, that hurts when you're 1/100th and very, very close. Ilya Haroun, though, did get himself on the team last night, so it hurts a little bit less. But talk about huge drops from their morning swims. Josh Liendo just took 0.7 of a second off in a 50 freestyle, whatever
That's
he
incredible.
did between sessions.
For a 50, absolutely
He
incredible.
figured her really, really well there, stayed nice and tall. You could see the power. Ilya, though, just like I said he did this morning, off the blocks, there truly might not be anyone better than Ilya Haroun. The power is unmatched. His underwater, he breaks out so strong. He was just shy of qualifying for this event individually, but the Canadian record holder prevails. Josh Liendo puts this back on his program this summer at the World Champ 100 Butterfly that he's already qualified in. We'll hear what he thinks of that swim shortly with Chris Heinmark-Watson.
We're on to your champion tonight in this men's 50 freestyle, Josh Liendo, picking up another national title. Josh, second last night in the 100 fly, but under that standard to be on the team, you're adding a second event here in the 50 free. What do you like about the 50 free?
It's short, but no, it's also a lot of fun to train for, and it's just fun to work on those details, trying new stuff out. I like the explosiveness and the speed of it. That's one of my favorite things for sure.
So last summer in Paris, you finished 9th in the semis of the 50 free, got scratched into the final, came 4th. Did that give you a lot of motivation going forward to work on this event specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I think it showed me that, you know, even didn't have the best of the morning, but I was able to put together a good race in the final. So, yeah, I know once I'm in a final at you know, those big meets that I'll be able to just compete with those guys. So, yeah, I'm definitely want to focus more on this event going forward.
And last question, anything that you're going to go away and fine-tune in the 50 free with your coaches between now and Singapore?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously want to get some more power off the block, cleaner dive, stuff like that. And I mean, once you get to those big meets, it's just racing. So just be ready to race when the time comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Josh Liendo, champion tonight in the men's 50 free.
To come back after 3rd this morning, 21.88. And, you know, I think both Haroun and Liendo giving us a textbook demonstration of that start and that underwater. They were so fast at the 15-meter mark.
And that makes all the difference, right? We saw Yuri Kissel this morning. That was a place he challenged. He was challenged in a little bit. He was in the middle lane, and he just got a little bit swarmed by the rest of the field coming off the block. So those of you who back home thinking about how you can improve, I think the details are everything. But here we see the junior final. Parker DeHaze, probably the most talked about junior so far this week.
Been on the podium already twice in 2 nights, so he did mention to me he wanted to get on the podium even from the outside lane here in this 50-meter freestyle, so we see what he's got in store.
Inside tip there for Jason Pratt.
You're slowly eking them out of me, Brittany, wearing me down as the days go by.
He's all business, and then I come in with Summer McIntosh watch, and all of a sudden I get the little anecdotes. And there you have it, the final 8 here in the men's junior final. There was an 18-year-old Albert Booley from Crest Swimming in the A final.
And they do have to go under 23.18, so we'll check on Booley. But Lon Kim in lane number 4, he was underneath that cut this morning. He went 23.12, so we'll keep an eye on him in the middle of the pool. Off they go. Watch in lane number 4. Really good on that underwater. Lon Kim. Look how far he gets out. Lane number 2 looking strong as well. That's Maxime Cambron. He was a 23.76. And it looks like it is all eyes on Kim in lane number 4. He's got a shoulder length ahead of the field as they come to the finish. 5 meters left to go. And it is Lon Kim in 4, 22.88, demolishing his own personal best and way underneath that cut. What a great performance by the University of Calgary swimmer, 16-year-old Lon Kim in lane number 4.
And he ties exactly Albert Booley's time of a 22.88 from the A final. So those two very likely to get to go to Junior World Championships and compete in this event. Unfortunately, Parker DeHaze shy of his goal there to get on the podium. It was a tight field. It was definitely Leon Kim's race there, but then the rest of the field starts to bunch up and get really close. Leon Kim was one of the athletes awarded with the Victor Davis Award at the beginning of the session. Also have to ask, because you know him even closer, was he not a distance swimmer?
He can do everything.
Okay, I was like, did I not talk about him in the 800 and 1500 a couple of years ago?
We very possibly did as youngster, but he's more now into the 4 and the 2
okay.
and even the 1. We're going to see plenty of him later on in the program. You'll have the 100 freestyle tomorrow.
Here we have our B finalists, a few international names.
So top seed in lane number 4, Nikolai Blackman, Tennessee Aquatics. He was a 22.80 this morning. He's out quickly. Lane number 3, Chris Weeks from Mount Pearl Marlins is with him as well. He was a 23.06. And lane number 5, Ali Saeed from Camo, 22.87 this morning. He's right up there with the leaders. It's down to 4 and 5. And it's lane number 4, Nikolai Blackman, a time of 22.54, just 3/100ths of a second to Ali Saeed. Swimming in lane number 5 from Camo. That is your B final.
And Ali Saeed is another one of our international athletes, competes for Qatar, but does swim in Montreal under Camo. He's going to ASU in the fall, so he'll get to train with Ilya Haroun in that program. Second place here in the B final. But like you said, the winner, Nikolai Blackman, Tennessee Aquatics, 22.54. And with that, our splash and dash is finished. We change gears a little bit. We'll see some medals before we do that.
So coming up next are the medal presentations for our men in the 50-meter freestyle before we move on to the 100-meter breaststroke.
And having the 50 free today is really fun because it's kind of a preview for the 100 free tomorrow. A lot of the same names are going to be around. I'm looking at the top 8, specifically in the men's side, where you see it was Josh Liendo with the win, Ilya Haroun second, Ruslan Gaziev third, Yuri Kissel fourth, Antoine Sauvé fifth, Eric Ginsberg. Like, these are the same players
for the 100 freestyle.
Exactly. Those are the same names that are trying to get on this relay. And we'll talk a lot tomorrow about the relays, but trying to get a Canadian team close to the podium again is going to be a huge priority for this summer as they start building towards the LA Games. So tomorrow's a big day. Today was a warm-up for it. Of course, it's a very important event still, but I think this gets me looking forward to what's next for that entire field.
Because we're talking about the relays and relay positions, and all of those names that you just mentioned in the 50, even as we go down to 4, 5, and 6, they're all going to be in the mix when we come to that 100 freestyle tomorrow.
Absolutely. It's going to be fast. And they have to turn it around, right? This is all about getting up and getting the job done tomorrow, because once you're in the final for these events that have relay considerations, you've got yourself a 50-50 shot at going to the World Championships.
Well, that's going to be very exciting. Tomorrow in that 100-meter freestyle, both for the women and the men, as we get ready to present our medals for the men's 50-meter freestyle. Here we go, Ruslan Gaziev back up on the podium. And for the bronze medal here in the 50-meter freestyle, lifetime best time. So some very good swimming out of Gaziev. It's a good sign. It bodes well for his 100 tomorrow.
Yeah, and all three of these podium finishers have kind of been on national teams together before and grown up in the system in a way. Ilya, of course, a little bit of a different story, came a little bit later, but definitely came over with a vengeance. And once he started competing for Canada, we've been talking about him ever since. But he's training, as I just mentioned, at Arizona State University. Ruslan Gaziev over at Ohio State. And Josh Liendo, representing NIAC, swims right now at the University of Florida.
And Leando's got lots of fans in the stands here, all sorts of signs cheering him on. And it's great to see the matchups back and forth. Right now, in head-to-head matchups between Haroon and Leando in two very different events, score is 1-1.
And for Leando to have that kind of zip in his stroke when we know he's not, he says he's got a full beard, he hasn't shaved down. He spoke to Devin Haru yesterday a little bit about some of the illnesses he's been going in and out with. So to know there's still potential for better and more with Josh Leando, I think keeps me encouraged. And he's had such a phenomenal NCAA season. I mean, he looked so strong. He won multiple events at the NCAA championships just over about 2 months ago, month and a half ago. So more to come for both of those stars. And we'll get to our junior medalists. Oh, Summer McIntosh watch. She's out looking for a coach. It appears she's starting her pace, everybody. Although, I don't know, it's 20 minutes. That's probably not enough time. She's probably still doing something else. Ignore me, guys. Summer McIntosh watch on pause. I got to stop getting too excited. I'll let you know if I have an update, though. And here we are, the junior medalists in the men's 50 freestyle.
And again, some solid swims out of these young men here in the 50-meter freestyle. And you had mentioned Lon Kim and sort of his slate of events, and he's going to be up on the podium here in the 50, but he does, as we mentioned, swim up. Although here with some relay spots is a possibility. I think there's a little bit more focus in that 100 and the 200 here at our World Trials.
Where did that shirt just come from? Did anybody see that? I think Ethan Eck just tossed him the shirt. Brother of Ethan Eck. Won the, sorry, I've got to continue, I thought, but won the 400 freestyle here on night number 1 with what a great race that was. Do you remember that? It truly was one of the more exciting races we've seen. It was a tale of 4 different racehorses.
It was very exciting, as exciting as the women's was breaking that world record, the men's and getting down, and a couple more 349s, and Ethan Eck being the winner ultimately in that one. It was a very exciting race, and as you mentioned, there's his younger brother picking up the silver medal, and Lon Kim, winner in 22:88.
Big smiles there, top 3.
Pour devenir le meilleur dans ce que l'on fait, cela commence souvent tôt le matin. On veut s'y mettre, s'y investir, tout donner pour réussir. Et après toutes ces longueurs et tous ces efforts, c'est bon de réaliser qu'on le fait pour le Canada et les Canadiens. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada, fiers grands partenaires nationaux de Natation Canada.
Up next, it's the women's 100-meter breaststroke.
Well, we are expecting a very close race in this women's 100 breaststroke. 3 in the heat have been under the cut over the last few years. Branton in 3, Lepage in 4, and Angus in 5. Now, Angus had an incredible 200 breaststroke on night 1 here in Victoria, qualifying herself for the World Championships, and is the winner from last year's Olympic trials and the medley relay ace for Canada over the last few years, winning bronze medal, by the way, back in 2023. I would definitely give her the upper hand here. But Alexandre Lepage is yet to make the team, and with that, extra motivated here tonight. She was a 2023 Junior World Champion and gives it a go here from lane number 4. Eyes on 3, 4, and 5. The time they're looking for is a 1:06.87.
Off we go in the middle of the pool. You have the three of them who have been under the cut. It's anyone's guess.
And to close on the rest of the field.
And it is Brandon, who is always out quick, but LePage is right there with her. Look at only behind Brandon. LePage right there as well, 31.8, way faster than they were this morning.
And something important to keep an eye on the clock, of course, for that A cut, but also the win.
His advantage, LePage in lane number 4, Angus in lane number 5. She looks to be in second, but Branton is in the fight as well as they come to the finish. LePage in 4, Angus finishing like a freight train, and it is Alexandre LePage, 1:06.87, equaling the cut to the 100. Second is Sophie Angus in lane number 5, and third goes to Branton in lane number 3.
Wow, well, we knew it was going to be close, but it was really not a disappointment there. Phenomenal performance for LePage. She has been on the cusp for quite some time, and now she's broken through as a top 100 breaststroker in Canada right now. She's going to get herself on that World Championship roster. And since Sophie Angus is on the team in a different event, she's going to have to challenge her to see who's going to get to swim that spot on the relay. It's definitely not given.
Well, this is nice to see LePage. She has not been that fast since she won the World Junior Championships in the fall of 2023. So it's super encouraging to see her back in the 106s. A great swim by her and a great swim by Angus in lane number 5. Coming in for second.
And that's the first time we've seen anyone tie the FINA A cut here, Aqua A cut here. So it's really fun when they miss it by 100th. It's unfortunate. We saw that just the last heat with Elia Haroum, but now we see someone get their dream notice. She's confidently on the World Championship team. She's going to Singapore to represent Canada. And we'll hear from her shortly with Chris Heimark-Watson to see what this moment means to her.
Yeah, great swim by LePage. Getting down to that World Aquatic Standard. And here she is on the pool deck with Chris Heimark-Watson.
In the 100 breaststroke, Alexandre Lepage of Calgary Swimming winning here tonight in 1:06.87. Alexandre, congratulations, equaling the World Aquatics A standard to add your name to the world's team this summer in Singapore. Must be pretty excited right now.
Yeah, I'm super happy. 200 breaststroke on the first day was good, but I'm happy to make the team, and yeah.
So a 1:06.87 tonight was not really about the time, more or less. You had to be under that standard, obviously, but winning the race was the main focus, to get your hand on the wall first, and that time sort of just came with it.
Yeah, you know, I love racing these girls, and it's always fun to be in the ready room with them and everything, so I'm just happy to be able to have gotten my hand on the wall first.
Could you know like where you were in the race? Like you're swimming straight looking forward. Did you know how close it was between you and the other girls?
Not really, to be honest. It was just head down and go for it.
Congratulations, Alexandre Lepage, your champion in the 100 breaststroke, and off to Singapore with Team Canada.
Coming up shortly will be the juniors. We did have one junior swimmer underneath that cut in the A final. Madison Hardaway swimming unattached, 109.99, underneath the standard of 110.35. As we get ready for that junior final for our women.
And there you can see the cheering squad I was talking about from Pacific Coast Swimming. Great stuff to see. They have a teammate in Miles Sandberg out in lane number 2. But like Jason mentioned, the time we're looking for the junior qualifying time is a 1:10:35. Only one person under it, Madison Hartway, in the senior finals. So they'll try to get a second under that slot.
So lane number 4, Vienna Bowie from Richmond Hill. She was the top qualifier into the junior final, 1:12:38. The spread between all 8 of these swimmers is only 0.7 of a second. So it's going to be a very tight field as we head down the wall in our first 50 meters of breaststroke. Again, that cut that we're looking to get down to 1:10:35. We're chasing the 109.99 in our senior final by Madison Hardaway. We go at the 50, and it is going to be Bowie in lane number 4, 33.31, just 5/100ths of a second ahead of Rachel Steinberg swimming in lane 3. She's out of Brantford. Look at how tight this field is for the first 50 meters.
And the key about this race is, although it's on the sprint breaststroke and you do not want to rush your stroke, you want to continue to finish each kick. You want to glide out the front and keep that momentum moving forward.
Very technical stroke, the breaststroke. As we come now to the finish, just less than 15 meters to go, and it is still lane number 4, Bowie, and she's getting challenged out of lane number 7. Look at this at the finish. It is lane number 7, Chloe Danks, with a phenomenal finish. Swimming for the Greater Ottawa Kingfish. She was a 1:12.6 this morning, down to 1:11.43, winning our junior final.
And second place, the hometown crowd got pretty loud. Miles Sandberg out in lane 2, and third was Marley Monson. So it was definitely a tight field there in the women's junior final.
So some great racing by these young ladies in the junior final.
Now we get set for the B finalists here. There's 2 international swimmers, one Anita Batazzo in lane number 4 and Due Abeta in lane number 6. The rest are representing Canadian clubs. Here's our B final.
And so we'll keep your eye on lane number 4. Botazzo has been as fast as 1:05.82. She wasn't quite there this morning, 1:09.01. She's up from Florida with the rest of the crew. And she is looking like she is not holding back at all here through the first 25, a body length out on the field. As we come down to the 50 turn, Botazzo in lane number 4. Swims collegiately in Florida with the Gator. She's first to the 50, 31.26 is actually faster than anybody that we saw in our A final. They were 31.4s.
Yeah, that was a really quick start. She represents Italy internationally, and she's going to want that exact same standard we were looking for in the A final, a 1:06.87.
So looking to make her country's own standard at 1:06.87, and she is on pace here, looking very strong with 10 meters left. Botazzo in lane number 4, 1:06.87 is the time. She was a 1:09.01 this morning. A great first 50 at 31.2. Going to be just over that standard, 1:07.27, winning that B final. Second, it is lane number 6, Hastoya Batibi, time of 1:12.02. Your top 2 finishers in the B final.
Top Canadian in there, Danica Ethier, 1:12, and that rounds out our women's 100 breaststroke. We'll get to watch the podiums next before we welcome the men. Results final there.
So it must be very satisfying for Alexandre Lepage. She was third yesterday in there, sorry, not yesterday, but 2 days ago in that 200-meter breaststroke. In her own words, didn't go the way that she wanted. And now to go a time that she is, she's been almost 2 years since she's down at this speed before. So,
And it was by no means, a massive expectation or favorite necessarily for her to go to the Olympics, but it would have been a dream to try to get on that team last year and to be able to bounce back to prove that you're not only still in the picture, but you are the fastest 100 breaststroker right now in Canada, and to change the narrative a little bit and to keep your name in the hat for the medley relay and to get under that FINA A cut, tie it, but that counts. It doesn't matter if you tie it or not. It counts.
Love the bounce back, Brittany.
It really
Love
is.
the bounce back.
It's really great to see, and of course she's doing well and doing great things at the University of Calgary right now, competes at the U Sport level, understands the importance and value in team, and really looks at this sport from a holistic big picture, which is great. Speaking of team here, Shona Branton really proud to represent the Western Mustangs. Got her purple flag draped around her shoulders.
107.79 for the bronze medal for her.
Another U Sport athlete as well. And speaking of, we haven't talked too much about it, but the FISU Games are something the Summer University ad this is a qualification event for those. So some athletes in the mix here that have the potential to qualify for Team Canada. That event will be happening in Berlin, Germany, middle of July. It's one of 5 qualification events, so it's a combination of a whole bunch of things. One of them was the youth sports, and one of them was last summer as well. Sophie Angus.
Yeah, silver medal, and she's already on the team for the 200. 107.
It's kind of the opposite. Ingrid said yesterday she was excited, and now that she's in the 50 to focus more on sprints. I feel like Sophie's going to be a little sad because now she's got to focus more on the endurance.
Yeah.
Less fun in that capacity, but
well,
hey,
Alex Ann will still be able to
the
concentrate on that sprints here with that 106.87.
Yes.
You see how happy she is.
Absolutely. No, really happy for all of them. The future of breaststroke is in good hands.
So our juniors will be coming up next. We did have at least one of them underneath that World Junior qualifying standard.
And we didn't even get a chance to talk about her, but Shima Tagavi was in that mix as well. She's our 13-year-old young rising star. Wasn't quite at that 13-14 national age group record, but we talked about her a lot last year because she was pretty much breaking every 11 and 12 national age group record. She's a late birthday, so we'll be keeping an eye on that 13-14 mark for quite some time. This time stands right now from Faith Nelson, a 109.77, and she was a 110, so it wasn't quite there today, but
she's got a whole nother year at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more just checking myself for things I need to prepare for by next trials.
And that, no doubt, will be one of them, part of the National Development Program. Swims for the Hyack Swim Club. New Westminster, BC. And there she is, Shima Tagavi, silver medalist. And Hartway underneath that standard. She swam 109.99 tonight.
Madison Hartway training out in Florida. Previous teammates of Summer McIntosh represents the Sarasota Sharks. Going to the University of Alabama next year.
There she is. She was a little bit quicker this morning, so she knows she's got a little bit more in the tank. Likely represent Canada at the World Juniors later this summer. Time now for our men's 100-meter breaststroke.
Please welcome to the deck now the championship final, the men's 100 breaststroke. Lane 8, representing Olympian swimming, Justin Chung. Lane 7, Calgary swimming, Nick
And there are our finalists in the men's 100-meter breaststroke. Now, Oliver Dawson is the man to beat here. He was the champion in the 200 breaststroke. Took half a second off his best time this morning to go double-O for the first time in his career. He'll have lane number 4. Apollo Hess was a runner-up last year at trials and swam the prelim of the relay in the Paris Olympic Games. 00.99 is his best time. Now, Justice Mignot, another medalist here in the 200, he'll have lane number 5. I did want to note the time and the standard for these men to get under the A cut is faster than the Canadian record mark. So we're not necessarily expecting that as a given, but getting your hand on the wall first here is key because that will get you on that relay team this summer.
And for those of you wondering, not in the pool, it is Finley Knox. He did put up the fastest time this morning, but opted not to swim tonight in the final. He does have the 200 IM later as this one gets underway. And as we expected, lane number 3 off to a quick start and plenty of speed. He swims it from the front end, but look at Oliver Dawson in lane number 4. He swims it from the back end, and he is out in front.
Yeah, this is really encouraging if you're Dawson. His stroke tempo's faster than I've ever seen it, though, so can he hold on here? Is he going to keep to his technical strategy? Looks really strong here on the first 50.
So 28.27 is a tenth of a second better, but Hess has not given up. He is still up there and in contention in lane number 3. Remember, he swam himself onto the Paris Olympic team, but now as the race continues, Dawson is breaking away both from Hess and Mignot on the other side. Again, that time is a 59.7, and Dawson this morning 00.92. Oliver Dawson 00.73, right where he was this morning. Second goes to Apollo Hess in lane number 3, and third to Mignot, swimming in lane 5.
Yeah, it was a strong first 50 for Apollo, but he couldn't quite hold on when it came to the back-end speed of Oliver Dawson. Justice Mignot closed well there as well. Oliver Dawson, he's a champion in this event. Not under the secondary selection, though, as well, so we'll have to wait and see if he gets to swim this event individually, but he will be one of the favorites. I guess Finley Knox is still in the conversation as the breaststroke leg. One of the reasons, Finley, if you're wondering, why would you scratch knowing that you have your best event tonight? Why would you swim it in the prelims if you know you have your best event tonight and you're going to scratch it anyway? Well, he's putting himself in the mix to be considered for the relay. It's very much why he went for the time this morning. He went at 00. If he was just cruising through prelims, we wouldn't have seen that strong of a time for him, but Finley definitely keeping himself in the mix when it comes to this relay spot. He loves the relay. He loves representing Canada. And Oliver Dawson, the champion tonight, as I said, it was all about getting your hand on the wall first, and the clear leader by 1.3 seconds. In both now the 200 breaststroke and the 100 breaststroke. We'll hear what he has to say. Also one of my favorite interviews, so I can't wait to hear what he says to Chris Heinmark Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Oliver Dawson, our winner of the 100 breaststroke here tonight, completing the double, the winner of the 100 and the 200 breaststroke, and a best time here this evening.
Yeah, that's what I was aiming for, right? So, yeah.
So a 1:00.73 best time, that cracks you into the top 10 all-time Canadian rankings, ranking 8th now in the 100 breaststroke. Are you happy with that time now?
I think you can be faster. Always can be faster, right?
Well, congratulations, Oliver Dawson, your winner of the 100 breaststroke here tonight at Canadian Swimming Trials.
Well, still looking to improve.
Oh man, it's my favorite so far. I can't wait to hear more from Oliver Dawson. There's a media day on Friday, and I can't wait to see what I can get out of him in his chatty state. He's a man of so many words, but we're getting set for the junior final here in the men's 100 breaststroke. Get ready for the lane assignments, find out who's in here. Before we do, quick shout out to I was making note of it. Hayek's Evan Velasig this morning, he was seated 34th overall. Won from an outside lane in his preliminary heat, dropped over a second and snuck into that A final. So that's what it's all about.
Oh, great drop by him.
Okay, so I was telling that story about Evan Velaseg. He was in the A final and got in with a phenomenal morning swim. Well, his twin is in this junior final out in lane number 8, Ian Velaseg.
What are the odds on that, Brittany? I think pretty slim.
Same event, too. That's a neck-and-neck battle. Wouldn't want to be on their dinner table after a hard practice.
The World Junior Qualifying Standard in this event at 102.42. I don't think we had a few juniors in the A final. I don't think we had anybody underneath that cut yet. The top seed in lane number 4, Hudson Fran from Grand Prairie, training partner of Oliver Dawson, the winner of the Open final. He was a 104.36 this morning. And it does look like it's Fran out in front. You've got Tizeo Mastro Mateo from Kenora beside him in lane number 3, pushing the pace as well. It's going to be first to the 50. It is Tereko in lane number 1, 29.66, just 9/100ths of a second ahead of Mastro Mateo. Fran right there as well, 29.86, followed by 29.87. A very close field through the first 50 meters. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together. And not much left in this one. It's coming right down to the wire. Here comes lanes 5 and 6 moving up as we get to the finish. It is anybody's call as they come to the wall. Look at 6 lanes together. And it is lane 6, Benjamin Sison, a time of 103.88. Second goes to Kiat Kong, 104.08. And then Hudson Fran comes in for third in a time of 104.11.
Okay, so I'm coming up with wild stories all over the place, but Ben, I talked to his dad today. You pronounce it Cheshkon.
Cheshkon, good to know.
Okay, but Cheshkon, he showed me a picture that we took a picture together after the Rio Games. It was 8 years ago. He was only 8 years old, and now he's here competing not only in this junior final, but he's got another 200 IM later to go. So a special shout out to you, Benjamin. He also won one of the awards earlier tonight, one of the bursaries for really great, promising young junior swimmers. So shout out to your dad. Shout out to you, a new junior champion here in the men's 100 breaststroke. Not least the junior final champion, but a solid swim in a very close field, as you mentioned.
Here we go with our final in the breaststroke. It is the best of the rest B. And top seed in lane number 4 is also one of the Florida contingent up from the south, Alexis Savicius. He swam a 1:01.17 this morning. He's out to a quick start ahead of lane number 3. That's Stephen Moore from the University of Calgary. He was a 104.06. Lane 5, Nathan Thomas, also in the middle of the pool. He swims for Point Claire, 103.96 this morning. Everybody's going to be trying to keep up to Shavikas in lane number 4 as he gets to the 51st, 28.49. It's right where the men were in our A final pacing at. Would have been right in the mix with Oliver Dawson and Apollo Haas as we've got a little bit more than 25 meters to go in the B. Shavikas with the lead, a big lead by 2 body lengths. And we'll see if we can get himself down to 1:01.17 this morning in the prelims. And the 22-year-old is going to win our best of the rest final out of lane number 4. Time 1:00.91.
Yeah, we're always talking a lot about those Aqua A cuts. Those are international wide, so eligible for all countries. But similar to the way we have a secondary selection, other countries might have secondary selections of their own. So every 100th matters when it comes to the final push to the wall. All these athletes are trying to get times that are considered for their countries to get to compete at World Championships. Breaststroke done for the night. Done and dusted. A results official there of the B final. We'll watch some podiums soon. And then we get set for our next para event of the evening, which is the 100-meter freestyle multi-class.
And so we are going to see some juniors on both the open and junior podium. That's coming up very shortly.
And I would give an update on the Macintosh watch, but I've lost her officially. I believe she would be out of the pool now. Her race is in under 20 minutes, so apologies to anybody I let down there. But at least we know when she got in the pool, so when she races, we're going to know the exact science of when you get in for warm-up
So
to be able to go a world record performance.
There we go. So she was in at 5:56 p.m.,
yeah,
I think.
5:56, yeah. I've got it marked down, so we'll make note of it when she walks out. But apologies to anyone I let down. I wasn't able to catch her getting out of the pool, but we have to hope she's out getting her suit on right now.
Justice Mignot from the UBC Thunderbirds in for the bronze, 102.24. Apollo Hess in for the silver.
Both members of various high-performance centers. Apollo Hess trains out of the Pan Am Pool in Toronto, High Performance Center, Ontario. Justice Mignot trains out at UBC at the High Performance Center, Vancouver. What's the name of that pool?
The UBC pool, UBC Aquatic Center.
Oh, well, could have maybe made an educated guess, shouldn't I have? It didn't used to be. But I haven't been to their new pool, so I have yet to see it. And I'm aging myself because it's not even new anymore. It's, what,
no, it's
7?
a few years old. It's
6,
not,
7?
It's not that old. But,
okay.
You know, it is a great facility. And Oliver Dawson, he actually has, up in Grand Prairie in northern Alberta, he's got a 10-lane, 50-meter pool that he works out of. They have a great facility there. Hosted a few championship-level meets in Alberta. And helped him along to get this great swim. And just goes to show you what a great facility can provide for your athletes if there are enough of them out in the country.
Save our pools. Save our pools.
Well, we should be building them instead of shutting them down. Absolutely, Brittany.
Here we see our medalists on the junior program. Or soon we will see them. We don't see them yet.
Some good swimming out of these juniors. We didn't have any. Anybody other than Dawson underneath that junior qualifier.
Making that assumption because there was a time where you could do both.
And you still can.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Whether or not the athletes opt
both.
to do both, I mean,
Yep.
that has been the more common approach, unless there's some academic situation that maybe gets in the eligible, will do both of those events. In the case of Dawson, I'm not too sure, but I think that one of our people on the ground could do some snooping and get an answer for us.
Okay, we'll get some people on the ground. I know a few people. But yeah, the World Junior Swimming Championships are end of August, the 19th to 24th in Romania, and the 19th to 24th in Romania. And then the World Aquatic Championships are the end of July. So similar actually happened to myself in my career in the quad. I was able to, my first national team, I was only a relay swimmer, so I got the chance to go to juniors that same year as well.
There you go. What do you think, Rover? Come on, Rover. Come on. Rover, I said go. Go now, Rover. Silly dog.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. New can, new flavor. Zero sugar, 100% wings.
Happened earlier in cycles before, certainly as late as 2019. COVID kind of threw things a little bit off in the cycle of events, but interesting to see the situation there as we get ready for our next event. 100-meter freestyle for a pair of multi-class women.
This is a stacked field here in the multi-class women's 100-meter freestyle, headlined by 4-time Paralympian, 13-time Paralympic medalist, and 6-time Paralympic champion Aurélie Rivard. She made the announcement as the meet began that she will not be competing at the Para-World Championships this year. She said, I've always put swimming first, but she's targeting law school graduation upcoming in April 2026 and wants to stay on track. She is the Canadian record holder in a time of 58:14 and has lane number 4. Beside her in 5 is another Paris Paralympian, Ariana Hunsaker, also in the same category, S10. It's a fast field, though. It took 860 para points just to qualify for this final.
So some good quality swimming out of our women this morning to get into this final. We'll see what we get tonight. And again, like all of our para events, they are seeded by time when it goes from prelims to finals, but the results are based on those world para points, and you're going to get to see those on the screen as we come towards the finish and we start to count down. But right now in lane number 4, Aurélie Rivard, top seed by time, 102.53 this morning.
Yeah, I know. In lane number 2, Paralympic medalist in the 100 fly, Katie Cosgriff, looks really strong there on the first 50. Second place right now. Ariana Hunsaker, though, 29.69, your
Very
fastest
fast
at the 50.
for Hunsaker. That's way faster than she was this morning, under 30 seconds. And you can start to see, at least you can on our end, the point score is starting to count down as we have 25 meters left to go. And the field in lanes 3, 4, and 5, Smith, Rivard, and Hunsaker all bunching up together. And lane number 4, Aurélie Rivard now pushing to the flags and to the finish. It's going to be Rivard first to the wall. Her time 102.06. That's 965 points. Looks like it's Mary Jibb. 957 points. She swam 104.13. That appears to be the next highest. And then into 937. That's Ariana Hunsaker, 103.41. Unofficially, I think those will be our top 3 by points.
It was very close, too. Katie Cosgriff with 9:28. We also have Maxine Lavat with 9:15. Alyssa Smith with 9:26. So a really tight field, but it is Aurélie Rivard with the gold medal in the multi-class event, 965 points, 957 points from Mary Jibb in S9, and then Ariana Hunsaker will take the bronze medal. She was 937 para points. And Mary Jibb was our multi-class champion last night in the 400 freestyle, so it's great to see her have some speed here in the 100.
So some good swims by these ladies, dropping the time from where they were this morning for Rivard and Jibb. And scoring some solid points as well.
And it looks like for the S9 category, Mary Jibb was just a couple 100s under that A cut, what's considered to confidently get them on the World Championship roster for the Para Worlds coming up. So really, really great performance. Another great one for her. Here we'll see Aurélie Rivard talking to Chris.
Gentlemen, put your hands together for Aurélie Rivard, winner tonight of the multi-classification 100 freestyle. Aurélie, congratulations on the win tonight. You announced earlier this week you would not be competing this summer in Singapore. How important is that swim-life balance for you?
It's been very important. It helps me achieve the long-term goals that I've ever had. It allowed me to go to 4 games, to have goals in different fields. And now at my age and at this stage of my life, I think that I'm trying to focus a bit more on what's after swimming.
So you're taking this summer off from the national team activities to focus on finishing law school. Congratulations on that. That's a big achievement once you get there as well. Where do you go from here now in the pool? You've done it all. You're a world Paralympic champion, world champion. What's next for you in the pool once you finish your law degree?
This is a question I ask myself every single night. So right now, I don't know. I'm still training. I'm still enjoying the sport. I have goals at school, like I said, and then we'll see what comes. I'm still looking forward to get back into training after Worlds, even though I won't be competing, but then we'll see what comes after.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best to ever hit the pool, Aurélie Rivard.
So some great perspective for that young lady, working to finish law school.
Such a great leader for this national team, absolutely. We'll get ready for the men's para multi-class 100-meter freestyle, getting set for walkout right now. And there you have it, the finalists of the 100 freestyle men para multi-class. We're seeing everything from S5 up to S12 in this event. Now this is headlined, coming off his win last night in the 400 freestyle, Reed Maxwell back here in lane 3 with the highest para points. He'll be challenged there in lane 4 by Jack Gill. He was just off his lifetime best this morning of a 54.89. That's his lifetime best. This morning he was a 55.0, so something to keep an eye on. Can he get under that lifetime best? It's a competitive field. Canadian record holder in both S8 and S9 category, Reed Maxwell. Like I mentioned, we'll have lane 3.
We're going to keep our eye on that middle of the pool. Maxwell, as you mentioned, the Canadian record holder in the S8 category, is only 0.6 of a second off of his own record this morning. It was 1:00.82. That record stands at 1:00.15. We'll see how fast they can get out, and is Maxwell flying on that first 50.
Jack Gill, though, out so strong there, the McGill swimmer, as you can see, flipping here in a 26.14.
27.5 for Ken Stroud. Maxwell in 28.6. And so that is better for Maxwell. It's better for Gill. And we'll also keep an eye on Tyson Jacob down in lane number 8. 39.87 is a split, just a little bit over where he was this morning. He's pretty close to the Canadian record this morning. And it's going to be Gill in lane number 4. He's going to be first to the wall, followed by Ken Stroud. It's Gill in first, 55.52. Stroud 57.50, and then Maxwell, look at this, a new Canadian record, 59.59.
A new Canadian record for Reed Maxwell, his first time ever under the 1 minute barrier, almost 1,000 para points with that performance, 991. Crushes the previous Canadian record by almost 0.6 of a second. Congratulations, Reed Maxwell, champion in the multi-class 100-meter freestyle.
Some good performances there in the middle of the pool. Congratulations, Reed Maxwell, Canadian record. Just waiting for those results to be official. And there they are. There's Maxwell winning, 991, new Canadian record in the S8 category.
Congratulations, Reed Maxwell, your official Canadian record holder, and as mentioned to our local crowd, the first ever S8 swimmer under a minute in Canada. Almost 1,000 para points. We'll hear from him shortly on how he feels about that performance. Oh no, it looks like we're going to hear.
I think it's Yagdiv Gill coming up to the mic with Chris.
It sure is. Hear what you have to say.
Silver medalist here tonight in the 100 free. Little off your time that you went in this morning session, but happy with the times and performance here today.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's a little slower than this morning, but overall I'm happy with the race.
Your time's also under that MQS qualification standard. We got to wait till the end of the meet to see where that places you, but what would it mean to you to be on your first Canadian senior team?
It would mean a lot to me to be back on the team from 2022, and I'm really hoping to make it this year.
Well, congratulations on your great performances and best times here today. Jack Gill, ladies and gentlemen, in the 100 free.
Congratulations to all the medalists. We're about to celebrate them shortly. Getting ready for our podiums in the women's and men's 100-meter freestyle in the para multi-class. And then we have our 200 IM, the much anticipated. I would give you a Summer McIntosh update, but she's in the ready room, so that's really the only update. But she's getting ready, and we're all excited. I hope you're tuning in from home. Potential always for McIntosh to break records. If we've learned anything, she truly doesn't have any limits, so we never know what we're going to get, and that's what makes this so fun. We get to chat about swimming all day. It's such a privilege, but...
So, and I think on our sort of clock watch, it's, you know, she's in the ready room, and that was just a little bit over an hour ago, not much. From jumping in warm-up to the ready room.
To the ready room, about an hour. Okay, good learnings. we'll say, well, she's definitely been in the ready room for at least a few minutes, though. So about, we'll call it an hour. We'll call it an hour.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
warm up to ready room, 1 hour. I'm learning as you all are at home. I'm trying to figure out how one day I could ever be Summer McIntosh. It's never gonna happen, but hey, I'm gonna figure out the magic potion.
Well, in your journey back to the pool in the women's 1500 meter freestyle, I think this is probably an important step. Timing that warm up properly.
Goodness, I want to have it on vocal. I was gonna say have it in writing, but there's no writing. But have it in word, everybody. This isn't about me. This is about all these amazing athletes. So we'll be no comeback. We're talking about our podium here. Ariana Hunsaker in the bronze medal position, S10 category, 937 para points. I've said it already, but this truly was such a competitive field on the women's side. You had to get over 935 para points in order to get on the podium.
Yeah, a good quality. One of the best quality fields that we've seen on the podium here is this women's 100 meter freestyle as it pertains to those point scores. 957 for Jib. Mary Jib Pacific Sea Wolves for their silver medal.
Mary Jib having such a phenomenal meet. And gold medalist, we heard from her earlier. Aurélie Rivard takes the win here in a 1:02.06. About a half second off what she went this morning. So chopping away. She said all these meets are kind of training meets. She's still loving the sport, happy where she's at, balancing it well with school. I think it's great perspective, especially at the point in her career. You don't have to stop at a certain age. If you love it, keep going. Chase new goals.
Oh, nicely done for all three of these ladies.
Oh, and Aurélie is getting her Athlete of the Year, Swimmer of the Year award. Well, she's over there. Killed two birds with one stone. She was the 2024 Para Women's Swimmer of the Year. I love it when athletes are like, do I stand here? Do I smile? What do I do? Who do I smile at? There you go.
I think she's finding the camera there now.
There
just
you go.
now. Yeah.
Congratulations, Aurélie. What a champion for this country. And we'll be rooting her on with whatever she decides to do next. It's always a little delayed on the men's side for our para events because they have to make it all the way down the pool right after their race. Normally we have the junior final and the B final, but we got to get right into it.
I think I see that they've got them all down there now.
Bronze medalist there, Ken Strome. From Olympians, S10, 57.50, 864 para points. And a solid drop from his preliminary time by 2 full seconds. Jack Gill will take the silver medal here. Sounds pretty happy with that on the day. Like you said, right on his PB this morning. 55.01 was what he went this morning. He went at 55.5 tonight. And a Canadian record holder. Our 7th Canadian record so far here. Reed Maxwell, first ever S8 athlete to get under 1 minute 59.59, and he's still, you know, I love cheering on athletes like this because we watched him at the Paralympic trials where he kind of just made a full statement and flew himself onto the Paralympic team. But this is the fun part. He's still very early in his career.
And very young, too. And early on in his career, and a young man, and he's got a pretty bright future ahead of him. And under 1 minute here tonight. That was a great swim by Edmonton Keano's Reed Maxwell.
And we are getting set for one of the premier events of the evening, the women's 200 IMA final. We're about to hear who will be representing across all 8 lanes. Well, I hope you're still awake, Canada. This is one for watching. Olympic champion and Canadian record holder in this event. Her best comes from the Olympic final in a 2:06.56. Summer McIntosh has lane number 4, and the exciting part is the world record is absolutely within reach, currently held by Katinka Hosu from back in 2015, almost a decade ago, in a 2:06.12. Mary Sophie Harvey under the Aqua A cut with a smooth and very relaxed 2:12 this morning. She'll have lane number 5. It is go time for the third fastest performer in history in this event, McIntosh in 4.
And we're off. We're going to be comparing her split times to the times she did in her Olympic gold medal winning swim last summer, just to see how far along she is. But we know she is absolutely on form here in Victoria.
And she's back with a vengeance after a really strong 800 freestyle last night. Butterfly is one of her specialties. We expect her to be out really quick here on the first 50.
So 26.80 is a split she did last summer, 27.19, so she is right there. She doesn't have to be exactly on each one. So strong on that underwater, and the backstroke is a piece she has really been developing over these last 6 months.
And look at her fly here in the backstroke. Look at the legs. You can see the white water. Her tempo is up. She's right beside one of the best in the world, Mary Sophie Harvey, and yet she's got 3 full body lengths on her. Breaststroke is the biggest question mark here for McIntosh, though. She's been working a lot on this stroke, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, look at this, 57.99. That is 0.6 of a second better than she was last summer. Her work on the backstroke has really paid off, and now we got to see on the breaststroke.
And this crowd is getting behind her with every single breath. She's worked on this stroke, like I said. She's technically made improvements. This is where Katinka Hosu's world record time makes the biggest difference. About 9/10 separates what McIntosh's casual split is normally and Katinka's split on the breaststroke, but we know Summer can close on the freestyle.
All we got to see is a 136.0, and that record, she should be able to give it a run for her money. Let's see if she at the 151, 35.75. So this record is going to be in jeopardy.
Get on your feet, Canada. Summer McIntosh is challenging the world record in the women's 200 IM that has stood for almost a decade by Katinka Hosu. Here she comes.
And here we go. Just 15 meters left to go. The time to watch for is a 2:06.12. McIntosh is on fire. Head down to the wall. It is. She destroys it again. Destroys that world record. 2:05.70. The first woman ever under 2:06 in the 200-meter individual medley.
And we knew it was within reach, and she just proved she is the best swimmer in the world right now. 2:05.70, a world record for Summer McIntosh. We are getting used to saying that, but man, oh man, does it never get old. Phenomenal performance. I do not want to kind of not notice it, but Mary Sophie Harvey, a lifetime best time in a 2:08.78 to get herself on the World Championship team. Summer McIntosh, the first ever female under 2:06.
Incredible swim. Incredible swim. Mary Sophie Harvey, best time. I don't think that was expected at all. I talked to her coach, Greg Arkhurst, a little bit earlier today. He told me about how much work she is under. But talk about the work from the 800-meter freestyle last night to the world record tonight in the 200 IM by McIntosh. What an absolutely incredible physical feat.
And this is just another day in the life for Summer McIntosh. We are privileged to witness it. Thank you for all you do, Summer. And we'll hear how she feels. It looks like she's a little bit sore in the legs.
Well, Victoria, how about one more time? Put your hands together. Summer McIntosh, a new world record in the 200 individual medley. Summer 2:05.70. The record had stood to Katinka Hosu since 2015, 10 years ago. You were 1/10 over her split time at the 150. What was your strategy coming in here, knowing that Hosu's breaststroke split was pretty fast back then?
Yeah, I mean, breaststroke's always been my weakest, so getting through that 50, just trying to get to the wall and knowing that I'll be really strong in that last 50 because my freestyle's been great here so far. So, yeah, I mean, overall, really happy with that time and always just trying to keep pushing forward, but I'll have to look over my splits to see where my breaststroke was, but happy with it.
Well, the 2:05.7, this obviously was a target of yours. I think you've been chasing this record for a little bit of time. How relieving is it to get it here at trials before a big summer in Singapore?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, and 200 IM, I think, is my main race out of my top 5-6 races where I really have to execute perfectly. There's no room for mistakes, and it's kind of a sprint event for me. So yeah, overall really happy with that. It gives me a lot of confidence heading into Singapore.
So can I ask you, after last night, the 800 free is a grueling race. You don't necessarily train for that often, but you swam an 8:05, third fastest time in history. To come back here tonight and go a 2:05 in the 200 IM, what did you focus on in the last 24 hours?
Just recovering, sleeping as much as possible, eating a lot, and just hydrating always, and making sure I'm getting my warm down in and things like that, and also mentally calming myself down and taking it one race at a time is really important, and I've had a lot of practice at that these past few years, so every meet I just try to get better and better in between races with recovery.
Well, we're going to let you go recover from this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Summer McIntosh.
The recovery strategy. I saw her getting a massage last night. She obviously knows what needs to be done. She's got lots of hydration. She said lots of food, lots of warm down, all the good things. But also, we now know the world record template. Okay, everybody. I've written it down for all of you young swimmers out there wanting to know how you prep for a world record. Okay, an hour and 10 minutes before your race is when you get in for your finals warm up, and it's really about an hour before you want to get into the ready room, which you're in for about 10 minutes. Makes a lot of sense. So there you have it. She walked out at 7:06. She was in the pool for warm-up at 5:56. You're welcome. Congratulations, Summer McIntosh. We're so incredibly proud. That was phenomenal. I don't even know how to speak words into existence anymore about what we're watching in this sport.
And absolutely phenomenal. I just kind of go back to the 800 freestyle last night, a near world record. Now that is a heck of an endurance event. She's coming down to sprinting a length of butterfly, sprinting a length of back rest and free. Incredible.
I actually think I was talking to Devin Haru about this on the car ride here, and as much as the 800 is such a grueling race, don't get me wrong, she only had to swim it once, and the rest of her day was a bit of recovery, does the race, knows how to recover, and then she, this morning, looked like she was taking a bath in 2:12, and I've never seen anybody go 2:12 so easily. And what I think that allows you to do, she never really would have built up lactic acid in this race. She went through the motions, but she definitely didn't have to give it her all. And I think that really helped her here tonight. But congratulations to McIntosh. We're moving gears to this junior final, but man, they must be excited.
So this is not the first time we've seen it so far this weekend. The juniors into the water just after a world record by Summer McIntosh. Our top qualifier, Maxine Clark, in Lena before. She was a 2:19.6 this morning. That world junior qualifying standard in this event at 2:17.58. We did have some juniors in our A final. We'll get back to you with those times as Clark looks very strong on this first 50 meters of butterfly.
Absolutely, 28.58 to get out fast. She's someone that got pretty pumped up about Summer's performance. Speaking of, if you hear our voices elevate during a Summer Macintosh race, it's because our surroundings are getting so loud that we can't even hear ourselves think. So when we're getting really loud in the mic, I want to genuinely apologize to everyone, but it is really just building that excitement of how this stadium is getting behind this one athlete that is truly a phenom in our sport, and we're so grateful that she is representing Canada.
Here we go with Clark coming into the 100 wall. She's being challenged by Maya Benzinen in lane number 5 from the Toronto Swim Club. Benzinen moving up, as is lane number 7. That's Rachel Wigington, University of Calgary Swim Club. It is Benzinen first, 104.3. It's 0.4 of a second. That's all that separates first, second, and third. Benzinen, Clark, and Wigington on to the breaststroke. And Wigington, a very strong breaststroker, so you're going to keep your eye on her in lane number 7. She's starting to move up, and she's starting to challenge Benzinen and Clark.
It's a really tight field there. You look across all 8 lanes, they're only separated by about a second. So breaststroke is really a strategic stroke in a 200 IM. Everything changes in the breaststroke. You see a lot of athletes that are really strong in the fly back but can't hold on the breaststroke. Talk about a breaststroke thing. Let's look out there for Rachel Wigington out in lane number 7 first now.
Yeah, turning 145.9. She's got a half second up on Grayson Kehoe in lane number 2. She's moved into second with a strong breaststroke leg, and her freestyle is really moving as well. Kehoe this morning, 220.56. Wigington was a 220.67. So we've got a battle in the outside lanes, 2 and 7. But here comes lane number 5, having a great finish. Maya Benzinen from the Toronto Swim Club. This one's coming down to the wire, all 3 of them under the flags together, and it is lane number 5, Maya Benzinen, 218.05, just ahead of Grayson Kehoe in lane number 2, and then Rachel Wigington in for third, just 200s behind Kehoe.
Yeah, and Maya Benzinen dropped a second and a half off her time from the morning. Got to be happy with that. Rachel Wigington, sister of Lauren, who we're about to see momentarily, or not momentarily, I guess in the next few minutes in the men's A final. More to come there, but congrats to Rachel there, 3rd place in the junior final. It was a close battle there, only 2:10 separating first through 3rd.
Very tight field here in the women's junior final of the 200 IM. Got a couple teammates fist bumping and passing the torch from lane 4 Clark to now lane 4 Jordan Grieber. This is our B final, best of the rest, coming up next. Go, as we mentioned, it's Jordan Grieber in lane number 4 from the University of Calgary Swim Club. She's the top seed. She put down a 219.09 this morning in the prelims. Out and looking strong. Seongyeon Kim in lane number 2.
Cheon King was in the individual B final for the 100 butterfly and won that B final. So we know her butterfly is expected to be very strong.
And I believe I spoke to her coach earlier. She is a 4-time Olympian for Korea. She's out in front, 28.00. She's in Toronto learning to be proficient in her English and doing a good job in this race. 28.00, a very fast first 50 outing for Kim. Being followed by lane number 3. That's Eliana Phillips from the Edmonton Keano Swim Club. Phillips, 220.01 this morning. So she was just a couple of tenths of a second behind Kim, but Kim has really gotten a hold of this one early on. She's been as fast as 2:12, so it's not unexpected to see her out this far. Turning in 101.50 is Kim. It's still Phillips turning in second, but she has got the heat coming in lane number 4. Jordan Grieber, just 3/100ths of a second separating those 2 lanes.
And like I said in the last heat, the breaststroke changes everything. You watch the lead change probably about 4 times, so let's keep our eye on who the strong breaststrokers are in this field.
And so the field trying to close up on Kim, who is way out in front. Eliana Phillips doing a not bad job of it in lane number 3. Trying to go with her in lane number 4 is Grieber. Coming now to the 150-meter mark. Going to be Young Kim in lane number 2 from the University of Toronto. Sorry, the Toronto Swim Club, 141.69. So Phillips matching her breaststroke split. A little bit less than 50 meters of freestyle to go.
very technical swimmer. Almost every single stroke, she's had really, really, really strong technique, as you can see. Breathing every 2. Right now, you'll think she tries to put her head down a little bit more into the wall, but her kick has stayed involved throughout. Definitely not fatiguing. She's got a nice bounce to each stroke, good rhythm. Very experienced, like you said. 4-time Olympian coming into the wall.
Oh, very relaxed this morning at 2:20, but much quicker tonight. Kim, 2:14.88, a very solid time for her. Winning our B final. Elion Phillips comes in second at 2:18.00. And then it's University of Calgary's Jordan Grieber.
And now we get set for the medal ceremonies of the women's 200 IM, where we were thrilled to witness a world record here tonight. I don't think it's really set into me, to be honest, Jason.
It's you know, we don't want to say that it's being normalized here, but it is pretty fantastic, the caliber of swims that we're getting out of Summer and let's not forget
Mary Sophie.
Best time, Mary Sophie
Yeah.
Harvey. That, I believe, for both her and her coach was quite unexpected, given sort of a state of preparation coming into this event.
But that's the beauty of Mary Sophie. Like, her previous best was from the Giant Open over a month ago, and she wasn't rested for that meet either. So it really is about racing, and they're setting her up for the opportunity to peak in the summer when it matters most, for her to actually contest for some of these international medals and put herself in a position to stand on the podium for Canada long course, which I know is something that's been a goal for her after four fourth place finishes at the Paris Olympic Games. I know she's ready for more here. Getting set for a medalist in the women's 200 IM.
We'll see what we have. And it's not only Mary Sophie Harvey, our third place finisher. She was also underneath that World Aquatics A standard. So good quality individual medley swimming here for the women.
Yeah, and it didn't even get to all my notes about the rest of the field, but in there was Ashley McMillan, who made the final in this event at the Doha 2024 World Championships, and Sienna Engrove actually qualified for her first World Championships to swim internationally there as well. So both of them are training down in the States right now, but they were in that final. It was a stacked heat. There was a lot of competition there, but we had all our focus on lane number 4, which is not surprising. Summer McIntosh splits, if anyone's curious, 27.1 on the fly, 30.8 on the backstroke, 37.7 on the breaststroke, and coming home at a 29.9.
Not many women have ever been under 30 seconds. When Katinka Hatsu broke that world, she was not under 30 seconds on the end on that freestyle. That is very quick.
Yeah, and the difference, again, it really does come from the freestyle. When you look at Summer's PB, her previous best time, she came back in a 30.4.
So a half second faster.
So that's really the biggest. And the backstroke. I mean, that backstroke, you could see in the tempo of her stroke alone that I mean, obviously you don't know how fast she's going in the moment, but man, that was to me the biggest indicator of we're going to see something different here. This is a special Summer McIntosh. Bronze medalist, though, Ashley McMillan, like I mentioned, was the finalist, one of the finalists in the 2024 Doha World Championships in this event. Swims at the University of Southern California.
Nice.
She'll have the bronze medal here.
Nice PB for her in that event.
I think her PB is actually a 2:11.
Oh, it is 2:11. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead on that one.
It's hard to keep up with every single person's PB, Jason. I don't blame you.
So many times.
Mary Sophie Harvey looked thrilled. She had a big fist bump after that time, 2:08.78, her first time cracking 2:09. She's been at 2:09 for quite a long time, so I think a lot of it was the relief to get into that new barrier.
And I know you said that she's had a number of fourth place finishes and she wants to be ahead of that, and I'm sure that she will when the time comes, but that time does put her fourth in the world right now for the women's 200-meter individual medley.
Uh-oh. I'm on Summer McIntosh watch, and she is all the way at the other end of the pool. So how are we going to do this? Don't run, Summer, don't run. I wish I had a little like Brittany cam that could tell you where she is.
She's is coming.
She's running.
She's coming a little bit quick.
Talk about post-world record GOAT status, where you know that you need to get to the podium. There she is. Summer McIntosh, everybody. Also, I do want to note, because I know the world records start to be, oh my goodness, and we're, taking, not that we take it ever for granted, like I said, but you have to try to put it into context. Summer has swam 3 events so far. She's gone 3 best times. She's set 3 Canadian records and 2 world records.
That's absolutely incredible.
It's unbelievable. And she's got 3 more days of racing. And tomorrow is the 200 butterfly, which I'm selfishly very excited about.
And I know you made the call on that one a while ago, and why wouldn't you? She's been swimming so well in that event. She's been swimming so well in every event.
And she says, though, 200 fly is her favorite. So I think when I look ahead, if you have an event that you love, you're rolling on this positivity, you're breaking world records every day, I'm thinking when it comes to your favorite race, you're going to want to throw something down. Okay, well, Summer can now go to the warm-down pool, back to the warm-down pool, and we're going to celebrate the junior medalists here. Maya Bezanson will have the bronze medal, representing
good swims out of the
Toronto.
juniors, right? We've had a couple underneath that World Junior qualifying standard.
And like I said, Maya dropped a 2.5 seconds from her time this morning. Great stuff. And then the next two were in the A final. Camilla Blanchard will have the silver medal. Blanchard. See, my Anglo was showing. Got to get better at that. 2:16.99, the time she posted from the A final to place 6th overall. And Leah tonight is a 2-time junior champion. So a super successful night for her. 2:16.49 her time to get her the gold medal here in the junior 200 IM.
Some good swimming out of these young ladies.
And by the way, the junior cut for Junior Worlds is a 2:17.5, so both of these top two are under that standard. I'm excited for this one. Let's welcome our top 8 in the men's. They're multiplying. Okay, we are getting set for the men's final of the 200 IM. Tristan Yankovich will have lane number. More as a 400 specialist, but with that time, I'm having him on my radar as one of the favorites in this race. On paper, favorite in this race is Finley Knox. He'll be in lane number 6. He's a 2024 Doha World Champion in this event and Paris Olympic finalist, Canadian record holder. His best time is 1:56.07 from trial. And he's in lane number 5. $59.05 they're looking for.
Off we go. Yankovich was really the class of the field this morning. 1:59.85, just 0.8 of a second over his personal best. His personal best of 1:59.0. It actually does stand as the qualifying time for the World Junior.
Knox
Yeah, not the World Juniors, the World Seniors time for sure. But Finley Knox, we know he's strong on the butterfly. He's been battling a bit of a back injury, but he said after this morning or over the last couple of days that he's gotten things under control. He feels pretty good about where he's at. Was right on in that 100 breaststroke earlier. So good things to come here and to expect out of Finley.
And Finley is with the lead right now in lane number 6. He was out 25-4 at the 50. We'll see. His backstroke has really been improving over the last little while. He's going to come through the 100. He's going to be out ahead of Yankovic. And Knox turning in 54.27. That's only about a half second over his Canadian record pace, but Yankovic out way faster. That's 9/10 of a second faster than he was this morning, and he was very relaxed on the breaststroke this morning.
And Finley Knox, the fastest backstroker in that field in a 28.90, but here comes the breaststroke, and knowing Yankovic is a 400 IMer, he has the speed to close a race like this.
And Knox is going to want to build up a bit of a cushion, and he's doing that just now as he comes to the 150-meter mark. Wigington is sitting back in third in lane number 5. There goes Knox, 128.64. He's got 0.6 of a second up on Yankovic.
And this is going to be a battle to the finish. Again, the time we're looking for under Aqua A to try to send 2 to World Championships in this event is a 1:59.05.
And Knox doing a great job defending that lead out ahead of Yankovic. I think we're going to see 2 of these men underneath that standard, and it's going to go to Knox in lane number. Tristan Yankovic, a full second underneath the standard at 158.01.
And a full second PB for Yankovic, so that's really separating him as just a 400 swimmer. Now he's also a 200 swimmer, and that's the first men's event, men's event because the 100 fly. Second men's event, we've seen 2 men under that Aqua A standard. In Canada, you will see 2 Canada caps at the Singapore World Championships this summer in the men's 200 IM.
Well, and that's a great swim by Knox. That is 1/100th of a second faster than he swam in the Olympic final last summer in Paris. So a great performance by Knox down to 157.25. And as you mentioned, Brittany, a PB by more than a full second for Yankovic, who's in for second. And let's not forget Lauren Wigington in Etobicoke swimming 2:00.59 in for the bronze. Solid swim by him as well.
Yeah, that's great for Finley, especially knowing he's been through some things with injuries over the last few months. To know that he can hit that type of caliber of speed is really encouraging and especially motivating when it comes to trying to get himself in good form for Singapore. And we'll hear from him shortly on how he feels about that race.
And just seems to be catching his breath before he's going to go over to Chris Heinmark Watson on the pool deck.
Had to do a little hair flip too.
All right, put your hands together for Finley Knox, champion tonight in the 200 IM and your newest member of Team Canada for the World Championships in Singapore. Job done. On the team, win the event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit of a mentally challenging day today. I had the 50 back yesterday and a little disappointed, but I had the 100 breast this morning. It was my first 200 IM long course since the Olympics, so it was just a lot of things going on, and I just had to trust myself and just execute a solid race, and that's what I did tonight.
So how special is it for you to be able to go off to Singapore this summer with both you and Tristan swimming this event at a pretty high level?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think going into this race, I knew Tristan was going to be coming at it full force, so to have 2 Canadians in the 200 IM, it'll be sweet to have 2 Canadians in the semifinal, hopefully the final as well. So it's awesome. I'm super proud of him. He's having a great year, and I'm looking forward to watching that 4 IM soon.
Now, the 200 IM, you've got to be a specialist in all 4 strokes. Is there one that you prefer swimming out of the others?
I think it changes. I think I've always notoriously been weaker in the backstroke and stronger in the breaststroke. And that's kind of flip-flopped over the years, but right now it's just nothing's feeling great, but just trying to keep everything nice and solid and getting to the wall and putting up a good time.
You got time to go and make sure that it does feel a bit better in a few weeks' time. So congratulations, Finlay Knox, ladies and gentlemen, champion of the 200 IM.
The world so far this year in the men's 200 IM, and that 158.0 by Tristan Yankovic, it puts him number 13 in the world so far this year in the men's 200 IM. As we get ready for our next heat, this will be our junior final.
And there were a few juniors in that previous heat. We had Owen Eck, Leon Kim, and Francis Brennan. Keep an eye on those times. So the time to beat right now on the junior side is from Owen Eck, a 2:02.22. And right behind him with a 2:03.18, Francis Brennan. Both of those under the junior consideration standard of a 2:03.75.
We actually had a third one who went under that cut as well. Lon Kim was also under the standard, so he's qualified in a number of events, although he's third in the IM. And as our junior final gets underway, our top seed is lane number 4, Jacques Harrison from Crest Swimming. He swam 2:05.98 this morning, not far behind him from Camo. And lane number 5 was Lucas Morin. He was down at 2:06.28. But again, as Brittany mentioned, the top time by any of our juniors, Owen Eck in the open final, a time of 2:02.22. For the first 50 meters, 26.51 is a split time by Morin in lane number 5. Harrison not that far back, 26.70 to your Dryer, 26.71. So your top 3 swimmers very close. And look at lane number 4 get going though. Jacques Harrison having a great underwater in first 25 meters of backstroke.
And his tempo is really strong, as you can see. He's got great turnover. Nice legs involved throughout. That's the key. You don't want to overuse your legs on the backstroke, but you definitely can't let them sit still when this race is only 4 laps long.
And Dryer in lane number 6 is moving up. He was part of Canada's Junior Pan Pacific team last summer. It is Harrison at 57.90. Dryer 0.6 of a second back, 58.51. And a good start to the breaststroke out of lane number 4 by Harrison.
And Lucas Morin is coming on strong in the breaststroke right now as well, out of lane number 5.
And Morin out of Camo, 2:06.28, making his move now with an incredible breaststroke leg. He's pulled himself up. He's going past Dryer. He's almost even with Harrison as they come to that 150 wall. And it's still going to be Harrison in lane at number 4. He turns at 1:34.65. He's got 0.6 of a second up on Morin in lane number 5, followed by Dryer in 6. And I'm really impressed with the underwater work by Harrison coming off of all of these walls. 25 meters left to go, and it looks like nobody's going to get to Jacques Harrison from Crest Swimming. Seated in a 2:05.98 from this morning's prelims. Looking to get on the podium for the juniors, and it's going to be Harrison in 4, time of 2:04.07.
That's a really solid performance there in the junior final. Happy with that. You see the little nod. 1.7 seconds faster than what he went in the preliminaries. So you're always looking for improvement and building upon your performances, but it's really great to see when it actually comes to fruition. Heat winner of the junior final.
Good him by Harrison. Lucas Morin came in 2nd from Camo, followed by Tua Dryer from University of Calgary Swim Club. These are your top 3 finishers on the screen now in our junior final. And this on the blocks and getting ready to go is our final race in the men's 200 IM. It's our final race of the night. This is our B final. we go, the best of the rest. Swimming in lane number 5, Patrick Groders out of Aruba. His best time is pretty fast. It is as quick as 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 0.55. Your top seed in lane number 4, Kent Goni Avila from Raymac. He swam 2:04.66 this morning in the prelims. The field pretty tight, and 4 and 5, Goni Avila and Groders leading. And Kent Goni Avila is winning 25.73. Loic Covel-Fortin, 26.05. He turned second in lane number 3. Groders right there, and now starting to move in lane number 5 with a solid underwater up and first 25 of backstroke. Keep your eye on Aidan Norman, University of Calgary swimmer, 19 years of age, having a great backstroke leg himself. He swam 2:05.50 this morning. And it's going to be Norman carrying the lead to the halfway point in 5:56.79. A backstroke leg by Norman to get up where he is in the front of the field.
And that split of a 29.95 was the fastest in the field. Norman is someone we're going to watch in later in the program in the 200 backstroke, so that sets him up well. Very strong backstroker.
And Groders now taking back the lead in lane number 5. Trying to go with him is lane number 3. That is Loic Covel-Fortin from Camo. And he swam 2:05.28 this morning. Groders at 2:04.90. Norman not doing a bad job on this breaststroke leg. Staying up with the leaders as he comes to the last turn. Goni Avila 1:34.10, a tenth of a second ahead of Groders as they turn onto the freestyle. But look at lane number 1.
It's a race.
Charlie Scalenda, seemingly out of nowhere on that breaststroke leg, is battling for the lead. Scalenda was only 2:07.38 this morning.
He's going to be faster than that tonight.
But here we go. Groders and Aidan Norman answering back with a great freestyle leg. Groders breathing in the wrong direction, does not see Norman. And it's Norman first to the wall, 2:03.50. Just 17/100ths of a second ahead of Patrick Groders winning our B final.
And that was great racing to finish off the night, truly. I mean, talk from start to finish. There was a lead change probably 8 times. Patrick Groders takes the kind of experience as a 26-year-old, and then we see Charlie Scalenda out of nowhere in the breaststroke, and then a final closing speed for Aidan Norman to take the B final there, 2:03.50. All of them dropped a ton of time, right? That was 2 full second drop for Aidan Norman. 3 almost seconds. Yeah, about 3 seconds there for Charlie Scalenda.
Well, a personal best by Norman by nearly a full second, too. So that has got to be satisfying, I'm sure, for Norman. I know he wasn't happy with the way the backstroke turned out on the first day for him, but this is a good indicator to go with a solid 1 second personal best, winning our 200-meter individual medley. Final official results on the screen now on the B final of our men's 200 IM.
Well, we'll get set for our final podium of the night in the men's 200 IM, and then we'll give our bell performance of the day before we go. 2 men under that time. I know I'm looking forward to watching that event at the World Championships this summer. It's always nice when we have multiple representatives for Canada, but they challenge each other from start to finish of that race.
Yeah, and I think it was great, and I love seeing the shifts and the changes, and you know, even when we go back to summer's race, you can see the work that is being done, and it did look like both Finley Knox and Summer McIntosh, you can see the little bit extra they were getting out of themselves in the backstroke after the work that they had been putting on, so that's really interesting to see, and they still have 6 weeks for further preparation as they get ready for the World Championships.
And time now for the awards. Celebrate them. And now, no, I'm kidding. Wow, the screen changed. I was like, ready, go. And now we're set for our medalists in the men's 200 IM. To close out the program, Summer McIntosh watch. She was in the media zone, but I believe she's warming down now, or maybe getting a massage. So that was a fail of an update. But thank you to those that messaged me. I did get a few messages that they enjoyed the watch. So tomorrow night I will hope to bring you up to speed with the eyes on the ground, keeping you in the loop with where she is at all time. Bronze medalist here, Lauren Wigginton. His sister finished third actually as well in her event, but that was, I guess, the junior final.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lauren Wigginton, third place there, 2:00:59.
So solid swim out of Wigginton. You know what I really liked about the trials last year, and when I talk about Lauren Wigginton, is that he didn't make the team in what was considered his very best event, but managed to come back at it, and eventually get on as a relay. And I just love seeing that resilience from these athletes.
It was really cool. I one of my favorite memories in the sport is actually watching Kat Savard qualify in the 200 freestyle relay after the disappointment in her bread and butter event, the 100 fly. And the 100 fly and the 200 freestyle are not that similar. So when you talk about versatility, it takes a lot for the athletes to reset mentally, to get back out there, to try something different, and then to really keep their composure throughout. But as mentioned, Tristan Yankovich, the silver medalist here, 1:58.01, a lifetime best by over a second. And Finley Knox rounds out the podium. On top of the podium, 1:57.25, a really strong swim for him, especially with what he's been through this year. And like you said, faster than he went in the Olympic final. You got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, all things considered, I think these men should be going into the World Championships feeling very good about themselves after those swims, and still another 6 weeks to get themselves ready. As we get ready for medal presentations for our junior swimmers. And this is all coming out of the A final, and some really good swims and some great drops out of that A final for these junior men.
And Owen Eck with the big fist bump when he touched the wall. I was wondering what, obviously he was excited about the time, but a lot of it, I'm sure, is that confirms him for that Junior Worlds team as well. So his brother making the senior team, and he made the junior team. Pretty good summer for the Eck family.
And all three of these men. Some very solid swimming out of the IM. Canada, of course, having a long history in the individual medley events, going all the way back to the late 70s, early 80s. Well, just a little podium confusion there as they get themselves to the left, to the right. Here we go with Lon Kim.
Francis Brennan was like, wait a minute. And Francis Brennan will take the silver there, represents Barrie Trojans, but swims out of here, High Performance Center, Ontario. Owen Eck, unattached. Like we said, brother of Ethan. Swam multiple events tonight as well, so successful evening.
I think in the 50 freestyle,
he was,
wasn't he?
He
yeah.
was.
As was Leon Kim, yeah.
The future of Canada, ladies and gentlemen.
There they are, your podium finish in the junior, for our juniors in the men's.
Smile. Great stuff. Doesn't matter how tall you are, matters how fast you swim. Okay, well, it sounds like we're wrapping it up, Jason.
So it is time for the Bell performance of the night. And where are we reaching to on this one? We had so many amazing swims, Brittany.
Yes, and I would be remiss to not mention we did have a world record performance, but every night, we're going to try to switch things up to introduce you to new names, to really highlight the different versatility within this Canadian program. And my vote tonight goes to Reed Maxwell, who set a new Canadian record in the S8 100 freestyle, the first ever to go under the 1 minute barrier of 59.59. I'm really excited about the future of him, and I just think that was a really solid performance.
And I'm with you on that one, Brittany. So the Bell performance of the night goes to Reed Maxwell for his Canadian record in the S8 category of the men's 100-meter freestyle. Great swimmer out of the Edmonton Keano Swim Club with a bright future in front of him. This, for Brittany McCampbell-McLean, I am Jason Pratt, closes off the night, Day 3 finals here at the 2025 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials.
Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Natation Canada tient à remercier ses partenaires. The Government of Canada, le gouvernement du Canada. Speedo, your trusted swim partner from your first splash through every stroke. Speedo, votre partenaire de natation de confiance de votre premier saut dans l'eau à chaque traction. Bell for better and all the ways it gives back to communities and sport across Canada. Mieux pour tous et toutes les façons dont Bell redonne aux communautés et au sport dans tout le Canada. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proud supporter and official protein of Swimming Canada. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada, fiers partisans et protéines officielles de Natation Canada.